Welcome! E aí, galera, beleza? Bem-vindo à nossa comunidade.
Welcome to our community.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's OGC here. Welcome to today's video. Today, you're going to see my messy handwriting, and we're going to go over the new Clash of Fate format because I had nothing better to do. So, this is the deal. The maximum amount of points that you can get in Clash of Fate now, the maximum is 56,000 points. It can be divided up amongst both teams. In all honesty, unless the other team doesn't show up at all, nobody's going to get a perfect 56,000 again, unless the other team's just not there. Because if there's any type of neutralized tower, then nobody's going to accrue points. So this is the maximum possible amount, assuming that every second there is some points being allotted to a team. The basic diagram that I have up here has the four different locations as far as the corners. So the top right, which would be up there, the top right would be one of the Seoul Towers. The top left, which is up there, that represents the War Tower, or whatever that's called, the horrible one with the resurrection. The bottom one represents the other Seoul Tower, and the bottom right represents the Life Tower. So in order to win Clash and guarantee that you're going to win, you need to get a total of 28,001 points. At that point in time, you can log out. You're going to win. And of course, we also have the 6,000 in the middle. That represents the total amount of points you can get from the flags. Of course, that's broken up into 1,500, 1,500, 3,000. So first things first, the first 40 minutes. These are the maximum amounts that you earn in the first 40 minutes. So in the first 40 minutes, you can get like 7,200 from both of the Seoul Towers. There's 3,000 points worth of flags to get. And I also wanted to break down in this bottom area, the difference between the Life Tower and the Seoul Tower is about 2,400 points when it comes to the first 40 minutes. So the total amount of points that you can actually earn, again, this is in a perfect world, is 28,000 points in the first 40 minutes. Now, what I found really interesting because of the double time is the last 20 minutes, you actually can get 28,000 points as well. It's exactly the same between the two. And I should know for the first 40 minutes, the 3,000 in the middle for the flags, that's two of the flags, the 1,500, 1,500. So I'm just putting all this stuff out as like a pretext to what I'm going to talk about next. So again, the last 20 minutes, you can actually get the same amount of points that you can for the first 40 minutes. So the first 2/3 of Clash, you can get the same amount of points in the last 1/3, which means that if you're trying to figure out a strategy, the last 1/3, the last 20 minutes of Clash is going to be the most important time because you can come back from a major deficit at that point in time. All right, so here we're going to break down some stuff. So first thing is the first 40 and the last 20, it's 28,000 points. So basically, if you break this down into two halves, which I know it's not halves, you get 40 minutes and then you get 20 minutes. So I mean, we're looking at the full picture though. If we break that down for the first 40 minutes where you earn the normal amount of stuff accruing up, you need to earn 14,001 points to be on par with a guaranteed win. And for the last 20 minutes, you'd need to earn 14,001 point for the guaranteed win. You need both those together to get the 28,001 points. Of course, you don't really need 28,001 points because nothing is perfect. And in fact, right at the start of the game, nobody's actually occupying anything. But anyways, I digress. So let's break down some of the different towers. We have the Life Tower and the Seoul Tower. So the Life Tower, just in case I'm getting these names wrong, the Life Tower is on the bottom right, and the Life Tower is the one that reduces respawn by 10 seconds. And then we have the Seoul Tower. So this is all broken down into the half. So for the first 40 minutes, if you control the Life Tower and the Seoul Tower consistently, you don't lose it at all for the first 40 minutes or the last 20 minutes, you get a total of 12,000 points. Again, your goal is 14,001. That is the ideal goal. All of this, by the way, is ideal. So this is just to give you some food to think about in your head with your house. but your ideal goal for each of the halves is 14,001 points. So if you control the life in the Seoul Tower, you don't lose accruing the points at all for either the first 40 or the last 20. You'll get 12,000 points, which is below the 14,000. Now, if you control the life, soul, and war, so only one soul tower, the life, and the war, you'd get 16,800 points. That's pretty huge. So that's controlling the top left, the bottom right, and your soul tower. And that's assuming you control it the whole time. Now, if you control the life and the soul, so one of your soul towers, the 3 points per second, and also the respawn one, you can substitute the respawn one with the war tower for the sake of this. And you get both flags. That's 15,000 points. You're above the 14,000 point threshold. But what I found really, really interesting out of this is if you control both soul towers, so each of the ones that give 3 points per second, if you control both of those, you don't even try for the other two towers that offer 2 points per second, and you don't even try for the flags, you're still going to win. Assuming that you never lose control of them and you're always accruing points, because again, for the halves, you have to get a total of 14,001 points to win that round. If you control both soul towers, you'll get 14,400, which means in the total thing, you'll get 28,800, which is above the guaranteed win amount. I just thought that was really interesting. So let's jump into the actual tower. So we have the war tower. This is useless in every possible way, in my humble opinion. This is the one in the top left that every time you get out of a fight, a certain percentage of the troops gets resurrected and put back in your army. So the reason why I think this is utterly useless is, first, it only gives 2 points per second. So if nobody's going for it and you just throw one person in there, cool. I guess that's totally worth it. But you're realistically in Clash of Fate, you're either going to get destroyed or you're going to destroy other people. That just tends to be how it is. Sometimes you'll get those close matches, but with the gold caps being so high, for the most part, you're not really going to run out of your army stuff. You're going to run out of heroes, and you're going to run out of dragon energy, and you're going to run out of mana for your Ophidius before you ever worry about troops. Now, if you're on a newer server, or if your gold cap isn't like 600, then this actually might be a decent idea for you, especially if you're lower level in the game. But for the more high-end stuff, this tower is absolutely useless. Next, we have the Soul Tower. So the Soul Towers, there's two of them. One is closest to either a respawn point. Now, they give you the best points. For the first 40 minutes, they give you 3 points per second if you control it. In the last 20 minutes, they give you 6 points per second if you control it, which is ridiculous. So if you control both 100% of the time, it's a guaranteed win. So if for the whole Clash of Fate, you control both Soul Towers and you control nothing else, you don't get any flags, you don't contend anything else in the game, you're guaranteed to win just by controlling both of these. So these are a big deal. These are like your cash cow of points. Now, the location is good to assist with capturing the flag. What I mean by that is if you control either of the Soul Towers and you're one of those people that is just kind of like a surplus, meaning say the enemy has 5 people in and you guys have 6, you're the 6th person, you're not in a duel, you see the flag comes up, or maybe the enemy team is carrying the flag and is coming near you, you can hop right out and go attack them. You're in a really good position to assist because the enemy is going to either run right by you or you're going to be close enough to assist your teammate, depending on which tower you're in. And it's just an important tower because, again, the Soul Tower, this is the cash cow of obtaining points in Clash of Fate. Next, we have the Life Tower. So this is a huge team benefit, which we're going to go over a little bit. I'm going to show you why I think this is a good priority for weaker teams. Now, if you hold the Life Tower 100% of the time for Clash of Fate, you're going to accrue 9,600 points. Again, you need, in a perfect world, 28,100 points. 28,001 point. So this really, it helps. It helps. And again, realistically, you really don't need 28,000 because there's going to be times that things are contested. It's just the way that it works. But the point is, this is going to give you more than 1/3 of all the points that you need in order to win Clash of Fate if you control it 100% of the time. This is my favorite tower. As far as like the effects, I just really like this, and I'll show you why. So for all of these examples, we're going to assume that the individuals are doing a fight. They're doing 5-minute fights. They're constantly fighting, and each fight takes 5 full minutes. So that's the loading time. That's the actual fight. The respawn gets put in there. So really, it's going to be more than 5 minutes. But just for the sake of it, the example and easier math is 5 minutes per fight. So that means that an individual could do 12 fights in Clash. We're going to look at it at different win rates, and all the statistics are for 20 versus 20 as far as teams. So you have full 20 people there. So we're going to get nerdy for a minute. So 12 fights per person, you have a 50% win rate, which means you have 6 respawns per person. When we look at this normally, that means we have 6 times where we're going to respawn for 90 seconds. That's a total of 540 seconds throughout all of Clash of Fate. If you have the Life Tower, it comes out to be 80 seconds per respawn and 6 respawns, which means there's 480 seconds. The difference between the two is 60 seconds difference per player. And if you have 20 players, that's 20 minutes that you can save for the team. Now, a couple things with this one, I'm going to really highlight the times. So it's 20 minutes overall with this example accrued that goes back to your team. Those 20 minutes are made up of 10-second intervals. So if somebody respawns and they stand around in the respawn area, then forget about this bonus. Or if there's many different things that can really interfere with this. It's not 20 solid minutes all handed to you at once. It's 20 extra minutes for the entire team split up amongst everybody in really small intervals. So could this have a huge impact? Maybe. I think every advantage you should take advantage of. So this has the potential to actually make a difference, but execution is everything. So if you really want to take advantage of the Seoul Tower, it's all about the execution. You get those extra 10 seconds, you have to use them or there's no benefit. Now, assuming that you're like a Toby or a Taint or Chip and you're winning 75% of the time, when we break down all of the math, you're only respawning 3 times. So essentially you're saving 30 seconds throughout the whole match. 75% win rate, 12 matches. That means you're going to lose 10 seconds off of 30 seconds. Amongst 20 players, assuming all of your team wins 75% of the time, you're still going to save 10 minutes for the full team. It's really not as significant as a 50-50, but it is also pretty ridiculous when you start looking at this. So you can also look at this for players. So if in Clash I have a 50% chance to win, or that's my average, then you can see how much time that individual is going to get versus you can see how much time a player who is like a Toby or a Chip or a Taint that really doesn't lose is going to save and accrue over Clash. And then if you have an ult in Clash or smaller players that are like up and coming, you can see here they're really going to benefit. They'll save a total of 90, or there's a 90-second difference throughout the whole match. If your whole team has a 25% win chance for duels, you probably lost, but you would accrue an extra 30 minutes between the whole team. So anyways, that's a bunch of stuff. I recommend rewatching this video. So what do you guys think is the best? Comment below. Let me know what towers or what strategies you're going to work on. That way I can steal it from you, and then we can win Clash of Fate for Blood Moon. So the key findings was, point-wise, the first 40 minutes generate as many points as the last 20 minutes. I thought this was really interesting, personally, because it puts everything into context on how important those last 20 minutes is. Even if you're down and say you're down by 5,000 points now, you can make a big comeback in those last 20 minutes. The other big thing that I noticed was the Seoul Towers are vital to victory. So basically, no matter what, you need to include at least 1 Seoul Tower in your strategy if you want to win Clash of Fate. 2 Seoul Towers, again, like I said earlier, if you control both Seoul Towers, you don't lose out on points at all through the whole match, you win. It's literally that simple. So the Seoul Towers, they are the cash cow of points when it comes to Clash of Fate. They're huge. And the flag has a potential of bringing in 6,000 points. So to put this into context, guys, 6,000 points out of a possible 56,000 points throughout the whole Clash of Fate. And that's a potential 6,000 because you might not get the points from the flag. The enemies might not get the benefits of it because you only have a certain amount of time to actually capture the flag. So in the big scheme of things, the flags are pretty big, but I still think the Soul Towers are more important than the flags. I'm sorry. Maybe the last flag, that one flag that's 3,000 points, that one's kind of huge. I can see that argument, but I think Soul Towers are really the most important thing. So with that, please make sure to like, share, subscribe if you guys want more cool stuff. If you want to see my horrible handwriting some more, make sure you do that. And also in the description of this video and all the videos, we have the OGC community Discord. Go check that out. We have the merch store. We also have Patreon. Patreons are the best, so thank you to the Patreons for allowing me to do this and to bring you guys a bunch of cool content. I wish you guys the best. Good luck in Clash of Fate, and I'll see you guys soon.